Welcome everybody around 14, episode 35. No, 34. No, 35. I don't know. It's 35. Okay. Anyway, when you get that deep in, you don't even remember anymore. So, as you have known from last week, Rick and I are doing our fitness challenge, and it's going. We'll put it that way. It's definitely going. It's I tried to do a 3-day water challenge with not just drinking water for 3 days and nothing else, but I lasted 2 days. So that's not too bad. And then I just had chicken and rice for dinner. And I hope Rick's doing well. He said he's been doing okay. So we'll check in with him after next week. But it'll be good. Be fun stuff. So this week, obviously, if I'm talking about Rick, this week we don't have Rick, but we have the lovely, the talented, the funny, the intelligent, the beautiful Sophia.
Better
There
intro
she
than
is.
last time. Better intro than
Better
last
intro.
time. Thank you so much.
And as you can
But
tell by the
yes,
title on the bottom of the screen, we're going to be discussing Marvel. So who better to have on my show than
that's
discuss Marvel than
correct.
Sophia? Because to Sophia,
Marvel is the
Marvel,
reason.
go
Marvel's
ahead.
the reason I got into college. My college admission essay. You don't remember that?
Well, I don't know if that's
Spider-Man
the
made me want to be a
reason,
lawyer.
but it's one of the reasons. Yes, it is.
But yeah,
But the way Marvel is to her is the way Rocky is to me. Um, it means a lot to her. It has a lot of meaning. It has a lot of motivation. It has a lot of inspiration. But so when she to take me to California to meet Sly Stallone, we wanted to see all of California, obviously, because we've never been there. So we figured we would do the whole sightseeing thing. And I said to her, I said, Avengers Campus is there in Disney World, Disneyland. It's Disneyland in California. So of
I
course
didn't
we had.
think of it. I don't
I know.
understand why I didn't think of it.
I don't either. I'm surprised that wasn't like an underlying reason to go see Sly. Like, hey, Daddy, I'm going to take you to see Sly. Oh, by the way.
I was just so focused on going. I was
So,
so
but
focused on just going.
like I said to her before, obviously everybody that's watching, or most people that are watching, remember, my incident with the meeting of Sly that did not happen. Excuse me. But having said that, I would do it again and not meet him just to see Sophia at Marvel's Avengers Camp.
That was
Because
the best trip ever.
if there was a theme park of Rocky, that's the way I would have been. So I understand how she was. So Sophia, talk about how when we first walked up and you first saw like you first saw it.
Yeah, well, at first I was really annoyed at Dad because we got there and it was like the rope. And so obviously we had to get there early. So it was like the rope and there was all these little inns. And if Dad wasn't there, I could have measled my way up front. But he was there, so
Uh,
it was fine. We sped walk our way over, and it was like the most overstimulating thing to have ever happened to me. My dad will tell you. We walked into the park and I was literally like just crazy. I was like, we have to go here, we have to go there, we have to go here, we have to go
yeah.
there. All of a sudden, Spider-Man's coming out of the corner. It was just like madness.
It was a lot to take in. And I was like, Sophia, we just got here. The park just opened. Doesn't close for 12 hours.
We have like 11 hours.
It's okay. We'll get to see everything, I promise. Because remember, the park is not a theme park. It's a section of the theme
Mhm.
park. So
It's
those
a
of you
good
that
chunk of the section.
it
Like it's a
is, it's a
good big
very big
section.
chunk of the section. I mean, so us here in Florida, or if you've ever been to Disney Orlando or in Universal Orlando, is a little better of an example. They have it broken up where they have Comic Land and Harry Potter and so forth and so on. So it's a section of Disneyland California Adventure, and the other section is the Pixar section, which was really
Which was
cool.
cool too. Yeah.
So so the Marvel campus is not a theme park in and of itself, but it's a good chunk, like she said. So when we got there, they have, of course, as soon as you walk in, it looks like it's supposed to be in the movies. You see these big doors there, with Stark
Yeah.
Industries. Um,
I remember we walked
and the
in
first
and
thing,
we
what's
walked
that?
in and then we walked in and the goal was to like meet every one of the iconic characters. Number one being Spider-Man, obviously.
Mm-hmm,
We
mm-hmm,
walked in, he just comes out of nowhere. Because the thing with the Avengers camp is they don't like have stations for the characters. That's what makes them like
right,
original. They
right.
just walk around, they just talk to people, they're just walking. All of a sudden,
Mm-hmm.
Spider-Man walks out of nowhere. And so, like, literally within the first 5 minutes, we got a picture of Spider-Man, and I could have went home after that and still had the best time of my life. So
And I didn't have that picture on my phone to put on the show today, so that's kind of stinks.
all
You'll
I
have to
had
send
was
that
the
to
video of me going like next to the
me.
5-year-olds.
But yeah, so we saw Spider-Man right away, like immediately upon. But the main thing we had to do immediately upon entering the park was go to the Spider-Man ride, and
Yeah.
that's pretty cool. You went into the entryway there, and this is kind of a little way station where they keep you before they put you on the ride itself. And he comes out and does a little monologue of why we need to save the universe with him amongst these robotic spiders. So it's a
Which
visual.
were a little weird for not
The
being
spiders.
in any, yeah, the spider bots for not being in any movie mentioned
Mhm.
ever.
Mhm.
I haven't read a ton of the comic books. I've read a few, but for not being mentioned anywhere, they were a very like
Right,
integral part of the theme parks. Like a lot of
right.
their merch, a lot of their toys,
It
like
was,
even
and
a
and
ride was
it's
based off.
yeah, and that's when it comes down to money and merchandising and getting sales. I mean, you got these robots there that the kids are going to want, and they
Yeah.
don't care if it's part of the movie or not. They saw it on the ride. They saw Spider-Man was fighting them. They want to do it. But I do agree. It was a little bizarre because they do everything so detailed that you thought they would have done
Yeah.
something that was applicable to the film series. But it
Yeah,
was
they
pretty
even had
cool in
like
and of itself.
parking for Peggy.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
but
And
the ride
and
was
then
so cool. You like shot your hands. You
yeah,
didn't
I
have
know
like a
it's kind
gun
of
or anything.
no, it was weird because like you said, you go like this with your actual hands,
How does it
and
know?
somehow they come off on the screen. It's a virtual ride, but somehow when you go like this, it comes flying out of your hand. I got the worst score
Weird.
because I had a video of Sophia doing the ride, so I only had one
Yes.
thing going there. Sophia had like a 3 million point score. I don't know what happened there,
I
but she did
actually
well.
don't. I just blacked out.
So you had to wear these glasses, and they were because it was
Oh.
3D virtual, and Sophia wanted the glasses. Now, anybody that
They
knows
had
me with
them.
my daughters, uh, when they want something, they know they got daddy on their finger there. They'll somehow figure it out. So I said, well, just put them in the bag. I mean, how are they going to know we didn't put them in the little box? We'll just leave. That was a little
Mind you,
white
the
lie, a
bag is
little white
clear.
sibling.
The bag is clear.
Yeah, the bag was
The
clear. I
bag is
didn't think of that.
clear.
Yeah, little
We're
bad part
walking
on
out, and the
me.
guy's
So
like, "Sir, you can't take the glasses." We just keep walking. I'm like, hopefully my
well, we
dad has
kept
the same
walking because I
mentality.
honestly didn't hear him say that, and Sophia was like laughing. I didn't know why you were laughing. But anyway, so she got the glasses, of course. But anyway,
Yes.
so Spider-Man outside the ride, there's a little part where he goes climbing up the side of the building, and then he goes up and flips and does this big somersault and lands on another building. It's not really him; it's a mechanical mannequin or whatever
Like a
body or something. I don't know, a
CGI
robot.
robot.
And
Yeah.
it looked so cool. And then when he
It
lands, you
was
don't see
so
him
cool.
land. Right, he goes behind that wall, and then the
Yeah.
Spider-Man himself will come out from downstairs and go by and start high-fiving everybody, and that's when Sophia went from
Yes.
19 to 5. Hey. So
No, and then after we went
and then
over
it
to the Pim's kitchen, which was
mhm.
actually my dad and I were talking about this. We were in some Disney like vortex. Everything was not as expensive as we thought it was gonna be. We would get
No, it
like
was very
food.
bizarre. I mean, most Disney food, yeah,
Yes.
be up there.
We got food for like both of us, and it was normal price as if we went
Yeah,
out right now to get dinner. And
I
usually
know.
Disney's
It was
like
like it
jacked
was
up
like
everything.
2 meals and 2 drinks. It was like $24 or something. I was prepared to pay $500, for the day for food and but
No,
but
it
it was
was
actually
so
pretty good
weird.
too. It was good food.
Yeah, we got
So we
the
went to the
big
PIM kitchen.
presents.
So anyway, so explain the PIM kitchen because not people that are watching this it may not know about the PIM kitchen. So or the PIM
Yeah.
theory. So go
So
ahead.
it kind of ties into the no spoilers, no spoilers. The new Ant-Man Quantum Mania, where basically Cassie, Ant-Man's daughter, creates this like kitchen where she can put the Pym particles into food to solve hunger. And that's how it like starts. And it's actually a real like comic storyline in the comic book, which is why I
Mhm.
was saying like they have such close detail to that. but then
Mhm.
Spider-Man ride. But anyways, it was really cool because you would watch like the fake food, obviously, but it was like video
Mhm.
of the food like get small and get big, and so like the
Mhm.
pretzel was like as big as my face.
Yeah,
It was actually good too.
it was. It was a good pretzel.
Um,
It was huge too, like you said. It was like this big. It was
yeah,
really big.
and I made my dad get this like beer mimosa that he definitely did not want, so that I could have a like keep the glass.
You wanted the glass, the PIM particle glass, or the PIM kitchen glass, I mean, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And then she went and bought, of course, they have merchandise for everything, so they have the Iron Man gauntlet from Endgame, where he has the Iron Man gauntlet on with the Infinity Stones, and they have that where you buy that and it fits in your hand, and you have a hold a bottle of water or soda, whatever you want to buy. So she bought
Yeah.
that. So when she went to meet Iron Man, so Man comes out and she's
Yes.
putting that up, and there she is with that there. That's pretty cool, though. It is cool. I like
Yeah,
it.
and then they also gave us all these photos for free. Like, that photo was
Yes,
taken
I
by
know that was
Disney.
very bizarre. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We went and downloaded them, and yeah, like she said, they didn't cost us anything. So I really don't know. Maybe Disneyland was broke that day. I don't understand what happened, but
I couldn't tell you, it was so
worked out for
bizarre.
us.
The one
So tell them about the
bad
other
thing
ride you
about
went on.
yes,
Bad thing
I
about
went
what? If we
on
hit that first.
oh, is that you didn't know what time the characters would come out? Because like,
Yeah,
in
I agree.
Disney, they have, like, the normal sit downs, like,
Yeah,
okay, the character comes out at 9, 10, 11. But here
right.
you just, like, kind of
Yeah, I mean
roamed and,
that
like,
that's got to
played
stink
it.
for the little guys. That's got to stink because
But
you want them
honestly,
to
it was
see them.
worth it.
Yeah.
It was worth it.
Well, you
It made
kind of,
it
I
such a
mean, you
cooler
figured it out real
experience.
quick. I mean, we saw Captain America. I said, Sophia, there's Captain America, and he was standing there. And then
Yeah.
Sophia walks him and there's that picture there. But she walked up to him and she's like, "Can we take a picture real quick?" And he goes, "Go ahead, Sophia. Let you tell a story."
Yeah, so he was talking with this, like, literal three-year-old before me. So I'm not gonna be rude and, like, cut in front of her. I was like, "Yeah, she can finish." I'll let her. So I go up to him and he goes, "Bye, Sophia." So I walk up to him and I'm like, "Don't be alarmed. My name is also Sophia." And instantly it was like the persona of this guy who played Captain America was like picture perfect. He was like almost like a multiverse. Let's go take a walk. And we just like walked across I'm not even kidding. Like walked across the
Yeah.
Avengers campus. This dad is like yelling, "Hey Cap, my kid loves you." He's like, "Thank you." Anyways, and like goes back to talking to me. It was like the definition of Steve Rogers, like this guy.
Yeah.
And he went over here. He was like, "The lighting's better over here. We'll take the picture here." So it
Yeah.
was just
Well,
so cool.
I mean, look at it. How cool a picture is that? I mean,
Yeah.
that's,
Yeah.
doesn't really get much better than that. So that's pretty cool.
No.
But I mean, that's the nice part. They do train them to be knowledgeable about Marvel and knowledgeable about the
It's Disney.
Avengers, and also be the character that they are, act like the character that they are. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to have it on the podcast, because all of those characters, Round 14 is the name of the podcast because of Round 14 in Rocky, where that was the defining moment in Rocky's life where he decided not to stay down and get up and fight Apollo and keep going the distance. And all of these comic characters have that arc in some way where they decided,
Yep.
I'm not going to stay down. I'm going to keep going and I'm going to do what I can. Even if I don't win, I'm going to keep going. That's like the scene that
Mhm.
I love, my favorite scene in Endgame, where Captain America's shield is all beat up. Thanos is kicking the crap out of him, and he's laying there, he's
Such a good
bleeding,
scene.
and I thought he was going to get up and say, I could do this all day, because that's what he said in his other films.
I
But you just
know,
look,
I did
but,
too.
but you look at him, he gets up, and he doesn't know all those other heroes are coming to help him
Did
out.
you ever read the script part for that? I think I might have
No.
sent it to you a while back.
Okay.
So there's this like post that I saw on Instagram, and it was the scene where he's just standing one man against like hundreds, and it's
Mhm.
like a man standing. It's like the description of the scene, so it's in like italics. It's not actually being said, but it's
Mhm.
like a man standing against thousands, knowing he's gonna lose, but still standing, and that just
Yeah.
defines Captain America.
Yep.
It
Yep.
really does.
And that defines the name of the Round 14. And Rocky, what he did,
Yep.
he knew before he went into that fight he was going to lose. He just wanted to go the
Yeah.
distance. So Captain America just wanted to do what he had to do. He would have died trying to defeat Thanos, and he didn't
Oh
care.
yeah.
he was trying to save the world. And that's the definition of it. That's why I love him. He's my favorite. That's why he's just that's why I wanted this Marvel to be on here. Because at first I was hesitant about putting it on here. I was like, well, I don't know if it really fits with the round 14 theme. And then I'm thinking about it, I'm like, am I crazy? Of course it fits.
Yeah.
Every one of those
Crazy.
characters had a round 14 moment where they decided to
Yeah.
not stay down. Every one of them.
So
But
going back to
so
the
what were you
park.
saying? I'm sorry, I cut you off. I know. I apologize. There's a
I
rarity
don't
where I
remember,
cut you
but
off.
anyways.
That's a rare time.
We're just cutting
I
each
actually
other
stopped
off,
you from
actually.
talking. No, you were saying about Steve Rogers. Oh, Captain America told you to come over, so we took the picture with him. And I said, I asked you about the other ride you went on. That's right. I'm not. Well, let me just explain this real quick. I'm not a ride person. So Sophia was not happy about that, but she knows I'm not a ride person. But she likes going on the ride. So I did go on Spider-Man because that's a virtual little baby ride.
Yeah, that's his like limit. It's the virtual ride.
That's
so
it.
Actually,
This next one though.
story.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, there's two. There's the not Avengers one because we wanted to venture out because obviously we're in the park for 11 hours. Like we were staying there all day. Oh, he knew that going in. We were staying there all day. So we like ventured out and there was like the Cars Land, which was, my dad will even admit it. It was so cool. And we went there like sunset, so the lights came on. It was like the Cone. I'm not very familiar with cars, like the Cone City, Route 66, like the classic stuff. But the ride from the outside looked pretty chill. It was just like them going through the like where is this car
some desert somewhere, right, some racing course in the desert.
So it was like really chill. But my dad was like, I don't know. I was like, come on the ride. He's like, I don't know. Like there might be, it's gonna hurt my back. And I was like, okay, that's fine. Okay, because I know my limits with him. I get on this ride. I kid you not. It starts. I'm like it goes so fast. I got off the ride. I was like, good thing you did not go on this.
See? I would have been in traction.
But
and the other ride you went on in Marvel, the Guardians of the Galaxy ride, no way.
Yeah.
Tell them about that.
It took over Tower of Terror. So it still looks the same, not visually, but like the way it's just a really big tower. And the ride is still the same. The ride is still the same in the way you go up and down and up and down. But now it looks like the Guardians Tower. It looks really cool. It's like the thing you can see the furthest from the Avengers Campus. And you get in there, and basically your mission is that Rocket is the only one not in jail. So Rocket's the raccoon. He's the only one that's not in jail. So he has to get everyone else out of jail. So like Drax, Gamora, all of them. You have to get them out of jail. And so you go on this ride, and the cool part about it, it's a different song every time you go on the ride. Like there's like a rotation of like 5 or 6 songs. And tying into our Memphis trip, I got Burnin' Love. So that was actually a really cool one because it goes to like the beat of the song up and down.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Uncle Burnin'
So
Love.
It was really cool. Yeah. And then there was this
tell them
old
about
lady.
The drop, though. Tell them about the drop.
Oh. So it opens up at the very top. So you finally like get them free. And then Rocket's like, you think I'd let you off easy? Because he like promises you money in the beginning if you help him. And so he's like, you think I'd really do that? And he like, then it opens up the tower and you can see the whole park. It's actually like a really pretty view for like a second. Right. And then you drop all the way down.
Oh God.
You have I don't mind the drops if I have this one. Because then I can like hold it like this. It was the lap bar. There was nothing to hold. It was just
God.
It was super fun though. But I was trying to show my dad how high it went. I was like, watch the ride. The thing's gonna open at the top. We watched it. You could see from the outside that it opens and the people in there. And then they just drop.
Yep.
It was really cool.
No, that's okay. I'm glad you enjoyed it. That's good. I'm glad you had fun, but no way.
Not for me. Tell them about the Genie Pass and how cool that was.
Oh, the Genie Pass? Ride? It was basically a fast pass. Yeah. Which good thing we did get that.
Like pick which
some
one.
Of the lines. Yeah, some of the lines were a little heavy. But I mean, overall though, it was awesome. They had the Doctor Strange courtyard, I guess you could call it. The what?
Sanctor Sectorum?
Yes, thank you.
Sectorum, yeah.
I mean, they had a little wouldn't say kind of a show, a little bit of a show. It wasn't very long.
Yeah.
It was like 10 minutes or so, 15 minutes. It was nice. Thor was there as well. And then the big fountain.
Yeah,
And
he was like, "I'll go buy you a drink over here." We were all
yeah,
like,
they,
"Okay."
they did a really,
Okay.
really good job of the characters' personalities, how they acted, how they looked. Because
Oh
sometimes you go to
yeah.
these things and they're a little, you know, you can't play that, or what are they, how they pick this person, but they did a really good job for that one there. It was good.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you enjoyed it, but any Marvel fans, obviously coming from Sophia, who's a Marvel head, it's definitely a number one bucket list, maybe not
Oh
number
yeah.
one, but on the bucket list of a Marvel fan.
Yes.
I don't want to say it's number one. What would be your number one Marvel bucket list? I think I
Meeting
know.
them at a Comic-Con.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Tom Holland,
Yeah.
Robert Downey Jr., Chris Evans,
Chris
those
Evans.
three in particular. I know that.
Yeah. Meeting them at a
So,
Comic-Con.
well, whenever they do come
That would be
around,
so cool.
I will return the favor
We'll
of
be
trying to
there.
meet Spy. We'll be there, absolutely. So
I'll
let's
be
go
there.
into let's not go too deep into. Let's go into now. Obviously, everybody that follows Marvel knows it all ended with Endgame. 10 years worth of
Mhm.
films, 31 films.
Which
Is that
Endgame
correct?
happened this year, 2023.
Yes. Yeah, in the movie.
It
Right.
happened this year.
Yeah. But there was 31 films in that 10 years. Is that correct?
I think you're. I don't know the film number. I'm gonna be honest with you. I just
Okay,
knew it was 10
I
years.
thought I read somewhere it was 31. Regardless, it's 20 films, 31 films, whatever it is. Which you had to pretty much watch all of them and watch past the credits. Obviously, they had little
And
sneak
you'd
peeks
want
for
to
the.
watch all of them.
Yeah, you wanted to and you had to. I mean, if you wanted to keep following it, and so just it ended with Endgame, and I'm sure we're not giving away any secrets. Endgame was 5 years ago or 4 years ago, whatever it was.
Yeah,
Everybody
five.
knows what happened at
Five.
Endgame. Five?
I sobbed. I sobbed in that theater.
You
Sobbed.
were, wait
And
a
then
minute.
they
It
had
was
the
really
10
5
year.
years ago?
Yeah.
Was it? See, you were
Yeah.
14? We have to stop the
Oh
show.
wait,
That's it.
no.
No,
It was
stop
3
the show.
then. It
What's that? 3?
it was 3 then. Yeah.
I don't remember.
I think it was because it was before COVID. Because then Endgame happened. Then No Way Home happened, and No Way Home happened
I
right
know
before
it was
COVID
before. Yeah,
started.
it was before COVID. Let's see here. Let's see if I could find
I think it might be 4. I should know this. I think it was 2019. Yeah, it was 2020 or 2019 because then the 10-year anniversary came and they had a special showing
19.
with the director's cut
Well,
or the
so
unedited one.
and you weren't deaf. You're going to be 20, so you were
Yeah,
16. Oh
I
my
sobbed, sobbed in
goodness.
that theater.
It was a lot. I will admit, and I'm not even as huge of a Marvel fan as she is, so I can imagine. I cried when Mickey died, so I get it.
I like shed one tear when
Anyway,
Black
so
Widow
we
died,
know
and
it
then
ended with
Tony
Endgame.
Stark died. Yeah,
That was it. It's all
but
over. So we know what happened there, and then there was another phase that was coming after Endgame to keep Marvel
which
going.
started
Um,
technically with No Way Home. I mean, yeah, No Way Home.
No Way Home, yeah. Spider-Man No Way Home, and then that's when they started doing some of the TV series on Disney, and they tied a lot of things together there. I think I'm not upsetting Sophia when I say that phase. What phase is that for? The
No,
next
that's
one after
the
Endgame?
TV's technically 5 because there's
Okay, well,
4, which is before, which is Spider-Man Far From Home.
okay,
WandaVision is in that phase, but then it ends
okay,
with Winter Soldier. So all the shows after
okay.
that are 5.
Well, all of that's Winter Soldier shows and WandaVision and the movies that came out. I don't think I'd be really bashing Sophia or Marvel to say that it was not up to the expectations and the hopes and of
No,
Marvel fans.
no, I agree.
Definitely not including I mean, I'm a Marvel fan, but not nearly like you are. So I could imagine the deep Marvel fans, how they must have felt. I thought it was very disappointing. I thought it was bad films, bad TV shows. It was bad storylines overall.
What I'm gonna say on that is, I felt like what the phases that were the predecessors did best was that it had stakes. you thought at one point Captain America was gonna die. You thought at one point
Mhm.
in Civil War that they were done for. They weren't gonna talk to
Mhm.
each other again. There was stakes. There was doubt within your characters. And now it feels, especially, I would say this was most prominent in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. There was
Mhm.
no stakes. I was like, what's going to
Mhm.
happen if Wanda
Right.
takes over? Like, okay. Establish
Right.
that for me and I wouldn't have a problem with it. But
Right.
I just feel like there was no stakes
Yeah, I just felt like
within.
they were trying too hard to push the stories down your throat. They didn't flow.
Yeah.
They didn't make you care as much. Now I know it's hard to do when you remove the big ones. You remove
Yeah. The
Iron
big
Man, you
three.
remove Captain America, you remove
Black
Black
Widow.
Widow. So
Black
I
Widow
do
was the
understand
only movie
it's
I would say in the new phase. Now, my dad's going to disagree with this, but the movie within the new phase that I thought was of equal like caliber
it
to
was a good
the
film, but it
old
was
phase.
also a prequel. It wasn't not a prequel, but a pre-Endgame. So it was kinda, you know, I don't
I
know.
know,
It
but it
was
was
okay.
made after, and it doesn't really have
Mhm.
any endgame characters in it besides her. And there were like clear
Right,
stakes of like, okay, if they don't kill him or stop him, there's gonna be more widows. That's
right,
not good because see what he does. Like it was very much laid out.
right. No, it definitely
That's
didn't
what I
live up
thought.
to expectations. Now, this next one that they're doing, which, I'm not sure when it starts, to be honest with you. Do you?
What?
The next phase of films?
Phase six?
Yeah.
Because this is
Is it
phase five.
this
I'm not sure with what movie it starts, but I know they're doing the group with Bucky, Yelena,
yeah,
and all of them.
the bad guys, so to
I can't
speak,
remember.
you know.
Yeah, the
But what's
anti-heroes.
yeah, that's what it was, anti-heroes, thank you. But what was the Ant-Man one that one just came out, wasn't that the start of it?
Oh, Quantum Mania?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's phase five still.
Oh, it's still phase 5, okay. Yeah,
So
see,
phase
and you
five
know what
only
I think also
started.
is annoying me as a I wouldn't say fence border, balancing on the fence fan because I'm not. I like Marvel, but not as deep, not as in depth as you are. It's kind of like somebody going to see Creed that's not a Rocky fan like I am. So I
Mm,
understand it in a way where I'm kind of like, I don't want to watch 30 TV shows to catch up with one movie. And, kind of
yeah,
annoying in that manner. But now, if it was a Rocky series on Mickey and Paul, I'd be all over it. I mean, so I
yeah.
do understand why they're doing it.
Well, I was gonna say I understand it in the fact that like think about when WandaVision came out, when Loki and when Falcon Winter Soldier came out, it was they were filmed and produced like right post COVID times. So no
Mhm,
one really knew the rules of what to do, what not to do. It was like right out of
mhm.
quarantine. So I understood those. But then it became too far in that like everybody gets a show. Like
Yeah,
Agatha
not only
Harkness,
did
I
everybody
think
get a
she's an
show, but they
amazing
were just
character.
right. But they were just
I think she's an
corny.
amazing character, but I don't think she needs a show.
Who?
Agatha
Wanda?
Harkness, like the no, the villain in WandaVision
Oh, yeah,
should be
yeah.
getting her own
Yeah, exactly.
show.
I mean, that's what I mean. You're stretching it now. You're stretching it pretty
Yeah.
thin. I mean, that She-Hulk series, it's like, first of all, why is she always a Hulk? I thought you're supposed to be a Hulk when you're mad. She's just walking around and she's an attorney
That
as a
show
it's just
that show had its good moments. That show had its good I
but
am a fan of that show.
but I've also
That show
seen
had its good
pictures of like
moments.
the Hulk's son. Like what is going on?
Yeah, that was weird. We didn't need that. That we didn't
Exactly.
need that.
Exactly.
But there was this
So
the end part. Did you watch the last episode?
no, no, I didn't watch any of the episodes
Oh,
of
can't
the
stop
She-Hulk.
crying. Yeah. The last
I
episode
could
was
talk.
so good. No, you can't.
No, maybe I'll watch it. I
But what I
might.
will
I'm
say
thinking.
they're doing really good is they are I think sometimes they do this too far to an extent is they are listening to the fans. Because
Well, because
with
fans are like
Daredevil Reborn,
protesting. They're like, "This is crap. What are you
with
doing?"
Daredevil Reborn, I think that's the best
Uh,
example. Daredevil ended
Now, is
on
that
such a
another TV
weird
show or is that going to be a movie?
it's basically an extension on the Daredevil show because if you watch the whole
Okay.
show, the show got canceled. So it ended really weird. And
Okay.
if you watch the show, you know that. And for a long time, it wasn't considered part of the MCU. And then obviously, with the Spider Man movie, when he comes in and becomes his lawyer, it brings him
Mhm.
into the universe. So I
Okay.
think what they're doing with that is great.
Right.
And in that context, a TV show is needed. Daredevil
Right.
is not a movie character. He's very much a TV show character because he fights the one crime and the one criminal, brings them to court, moves
Right.
on.
Just ongoing. Right.
But yes, I think a TV show is good there. What I think is going on is people want a TV show for everything because then you can just binge,
Well,
watch the whole
sure. You
season
sit
you
at home
want
on your
in your
couch,
own house.
in your bed. Right.
Exactly.
Exactly.
But what I think as a company, as a director, and as a producer, you need to understand is it's not the same.
No.
And it's not going to create that same experience for the viewers. And when watching a TV show, especially, I sound so old, in this day and age, people are not going to be paying attention. They're going to
These
be on their
kids
phones. They're going to be,
today.
God, get off my lawn. But they're going to be like in the kitchen. They're going to be folding laundry, stuff like that. So if you really want to have something that important, like Loki, I think Loki should have been a movie. I loved that show. I think it should have been a movie. To have somebody sit and watch that, especially for the importance that that show is going to have for the future of Marvel, it should not have been a TV show. I think a TV show is fine in when you have like the Guardians of the Galaxy, like the little Groot series. Like that was funny.
Right.
That was just
Right.
chill. It was something stupid.
Well, I think you should contact
but...
Kevin Feige and let him know all these ideas that you have, and get a job before you graduate college.
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you think of the rumors about Iron Man coming back for the Kang not Kang Wars? Kang, Dynasty. What is it called? Kang Dynasty?
Dynasty, yes.
Okay, Kang Dynasty. But isn't there an Infinity War or something? Or
pause. You're gonna have to cut that out because that's a major spoiler in the Ant-Man movie.
Oh,
that's like a major spoiler.
I don't know.
I know you didn't see it. So I know you didn't see it, but that is like a big spoiler. But
okay, well, it's all over the internet, so people should be watching it. What do you think about the rumors about Iron Man coming back?
I think it would just so like we said earlier, I sobbed in that theater when he died. When Iron Man died, I died. Part of me died. Part of me died in that theater.
Sound like Duke in Rocky IV. When Apollo died, part of me died.
Yes, it's true. Duke, I understand. But anyways, I think it would just take away the whole importance of it. And then at what point do you ever, because you kind of have a mutual like trust within the movies of what they're showing you is true and it's going to be true for the future. That's why movies like Inception work so well and Shutter Island works so well.
Multiverse, though, you can go back in times. I mean,
but then you can do anything. And what's the point of even having the movie?
I know. I agree. But that could be
then there's
the fun part about it
because I could just bring them back. Then there's just no stakes.
Well, you can't bring them back.
Oh, we could just grab them from another one. Yeah, we could just grab another one. It's fine if that one dies.
No, I agree 100%. I mean, because if they killed him off and it ended on that high note, I mean, personally, that's what I think Marvel should have done. Ended on the high note and then just release whatever movies they wanted to, not trying to recreate another 10-year.
I think the Spider-Man series did amazing after Endgame still. With Mysterio, Spider-Man's identity getting revealed, the multiverse in that movie is done right.
Right. Yeah, I agree.
I think they're now in an aspect of, okay, well, anything's possible. Okay, well, if anything's possible, then what's the point? Like, okay, this Thanos here, he's killing half the population. What's to say another one's not going to just come over? That ruins the whole, like...
No, you're right.
Point.
See, Kevin, listen, call her. I'll put her number down on the bottom later.
You never know. They might turn things around. They might actually listen to a comic book or two. You never know.
I hope so. I mean, I'm a bigger DC fan, or a bigger Batman fan, I should say. And I've always been like, I don't care what you do with the films. But stick to the storyline, stick to the comics, stick to the foundation that the characters were created on. And that's just like with anything. Like, I don't have a problem with them with doing, race or sex or anything like this when they want to create comic characters. I don't care. But you don't change. Batman was never black. I mean, so let's not make Batman black. He's not. Make another character, You have
Exactly.
Black Panther, or whoever. I mean, they have other characters. It's fine. But yeah, stick to the storyline.
Which
Don't
the
make
new
Alfred.
Black Panther movie, yeah, the new Black Panther
Yep.
movie is an example of how a sequel doesn't always have to be about the prequel, and it could
Right.
still be a
Exactly.
great standalone film because
Just
it
stick
didn't
to the
even have
story.
T'Challa in it.
Stick to the storyline. You got 100 years worth of comic storylines. You could find one to stick
Yeah.
to. You don't have to.
Yeah.
If you want to create on your own, that's fine. I respect that. But then don't use those characters. It just
Because
doesn't make
people have an
sense.
expectation.
Right. The comic people, the comic world, comic
Community.
family, whatever you want to call them, they're diehards in the way it is. Batman's Alfred
And you have
is
a
a man.
responsibility to them.
I agree. Yeah, it's exactly well put. You have responsibility to them. See, so I mean, as long as they stick to the comics, I think they'll be okay. So they also may pull some comics out that people have forgotten about and shock us all, and that'll be good. So I'm glad you came on. I'm glad we talked about Marvel. I know we wanted to for a while. And then next week we'll be this will be
walking in Memphis.
This will be airing while we're in Memphis. Actually. So it's kind of like the time, the multiverse there. We're in a timeline right now. So, but we will be seeing Sophia again because when we get back from Memphis, we're going to be doing the Elvis special. The Elvis, not 68 comeback special. So we'll be talking
23 comeback
Elvis
special.
That's right. We'll be talking about the Elvis movie, talking about Graceland, talk about Memphis itself, obviously.
Yeah.
It kind of can apply to around 14. Never give up. Get up when you're down, because look at the 68 comeback special. He was down and out.
Oh yeah.
His career was in the toilet. But we'll talk. We'll save that for there. We'll start going. Good. What's that?
Yes. I said also that movie's just really good. You should just talk about it. So.
Oh my God. It was so good. I love it. I could watch it. That's one of the few movies I could watch a lot. That and Top Gun Maverick. Those two newer movies.
Yes.
I could watch them a lot.
Yes.
So well, thank you, honey. I'm glad you came on. You're always our co-host. Like I said, it's you and Rick. And I know you're a very, very busy girl, so I'm going to be using Rick more than you, but it's nice to have you on here and there. All right.
Well, I'll be back.
You. I'll see you next episode. You'll be back. Okay. She's a good girl, isn't she? Of course. Anyway, so next week we'll be doing Elvis, like we said, and that'll be coming up. We're talking all of Graceland and everything like that. And that's about it. I'm sorry, I can't really see right now. My contacts are drying up in my head. Anyway, thank you for tuning in. Glad you guys tuned in. I hope you enjoyed it. I know it's definitely a little bit of a different episode than the norm on this podcast, but I think that's kind of nice to go a little different route, but the same foundation of values and why it's there. So I hope you enjoyed it, and we will see you next week.